Here you see a couple of cory catfish munching on some hikari carnivore wafers. And Muddy sees something going on, comes on over and takes all the food as usual. That's standard Muddy behavior. She's the most aggressive turtle in this tank. That's little Fern up there. She's an injured mud turtle. She was hit by a car and she's being rehabbed. Here you see a ghost shrimp grabbing an entire carnivore wafer, and he's going to try to make away with it. Let's see how far he gets. Pretty strong for a little guy, and now we got trouble. Here comes Muddy. And Muddy gets the wafer, and the ghost shrimp escapes with its life. Generally, the ghost shrimp are not bothered in the tank, but they are occasionally picked off. There's some cory catfish again being chased away by Muddy as she pursues some food, and they go over and go after another bit of carnivore wafer over there. That's their favorite pellet type food. Muddy has a voracious appetite. So does Esther. It's another female in the tank. Fern has a modest appetite, and then Romeo is a very modest appetite. That's the only male in the tank. Here's the catfish again. They're a lot of fun to watch. They're bottom feeders, of course, and they stay down on the bottom. They sleep on the bottom. They'll sit still on the sand and sleep. There's also a couple of... here's Esther. Now, Esther and Muddy don't get along real well. They do fight, and particularly over food. Otherwise, they're both great turtles, but they have it in for each other. Both Esther and Muddy will steal food right out of Romeo's mouth. Romeo, there's some carnivore wafers there. Romeo will not eat when the girls are eating. I feed him separately, and I feed Fern separately as well because she's not able to compete with the healthy turtles. Now that Mopani wood is pretty heavy, but Muddy's not going to be deterred. She's going to push it out of the way and get to a carnivore wafer that's hidden underneath. Nothing stands in the way of Muddy getting to a bit of food. She is relentless. Now it's just an overview. There's a pot in the corner with some kind of peace lily, and there's a basking, or rather a shallow water platform. Basking platform that's shaded in the back for egg laying. That's filled with sand. Another shallow water platform. They both have acrylic logs on them. There's Muddy down there. And on the other far right corner is another potted plant. And there again is Esther, munching away. That part of the tank is loaded with moss on the bottom, 2 or 3 inches thick, and the turtles will hide in it, sleep in it, forage for food in it. And that's what Esther's doing there right now. There's a little ghost shrimp. As long as the turtles are well fed, the ghost shrimp are relatively safe. Right now, in this video, you're seeing them eating carnivore wafers, but I'm also feeding them a variety of fish, salmon, catfish, scallops, shrimp, haddock, I think it's called. And here you see Esther in the corner pot, one of the corner pots. Those are live plants, by the way. I don't know what kind they are. People often ask me what kind of plants I have, and I actually don't know. I get what's available in the pet stores and put them in. I pot them in gravel. I also have mossballs, which you can buy in the pet stores or online. And then I have string plants, also called hydra. And I think the variety you get in the stores is called anacharis. But I can get it wild in the river where I go kayaking, and there's Fern swimming towards the back of the tank. Fern was hit by a car last year and was rescued by my vet, and I'm rehabbing her, and there she is in a pot. Her head was badly damaged, her jaw was fractured in several places, and she still has neurological damage, which will probably never get better. There she is again, heading into the moss, and diving down. She's going to get a little rest down underneath all that green stuff there. Having a lot of vegetation, there's Fern again, looking for something to eat, but having a lot of vegetation is very calming to a turtle. They'll feel like they're in the wild, and that's important, because once they feel like they're in the wild, they behave normally, the stress is low, and the viewing experience is much more pleasurable. from the point of view of the keeper. Oh, she sees it, there's a pellet there, and she's going to get it. Got it. She and Muddy have voracious appetites and do not like each other. The fighting is generally somewhat benign, I guess you'd call it. They bite each other's shells, or they'll stand off and stare each other down. There's been no soft tissue bites that I know of yet, but I'm always vigilant, and whenever I see them staring each other down, I have a long stick with the tip rounded, and so it can't hurt anything, and I'll push them away from each other and let them know that I'm not happy with their behavior. It doesn't last long, but here's a ghost shrimp just traveling over a piece of moss ball. They breed in this tank, by the way. I haven't had to add ghost shrimp now for 6 or 7 months. They've been breeding modestly well in the tank, and they're actually fun to watch too. They're unique in their behaviors, and they add something to the tank, and they pick up and eat uneaten food. Now here's Fern. I'm going to show you the trouble she has with her eating, the neurological issues she has. Her head goes off into various directions. She has trouble hitting the food, and that's why she can't eat with the other turtles. I have to feed her specifically. Now that doesn't always happen. Once in a while she'll hit a bullseye, and I'll show you here in a minute where she aims a little bit better, but she has a lot of problems with her head. For those of you who have seen the earlier videos of Fern when I was rehabbing her, you'll remember how badly damaged she was, and is not likely ever to be normal again and can never be released. But she has a healthy appetite, and she just laid 2 eggs recently. She has difficulties also laying eggs. She has some problems, it seems, in her rear quarters, probably also neurological, and we have had to give her oxytocin to get her to lay her eggs. She seems to have problems with that. Not sure why. But she doesn't seem to know she's injured, and she is a real champ. She's the tamest of the turtles because I had so much interaction with her when she was in critical condition that she's completely used to me and my touch, so she's not afraid of me at all. Here you see Romeo, the only male, eating some kind of fish. He's a sloppy eater, but he's a gentle eater, and he will not eat with the girls. They're just too aggressive. Getting a little air. You don't see him as much in the tank. He's only out when he wants to bask or when he wants to mate, or if he's getting something to eat. He doesn't wander around the tank as much as the girls do. He's also injured in the sense that his shell is chewed away. There's a ghost shrimp right in front of him there, but it's in no danger. The back of his shell has been chewed away. And there's Fern eating, and here you see it looks like she's eating very normally. So every once in a while she seems to be okay, or at least her aim looks much better. Why that is okay one day and not the next, I really couldn't even guess. And here we see her again. Generally she does better when the food is below her than when it is up above her. Seems to, whether that's visual or something else, I don't know. Here's Romeo basking. One of the rare times you will actually see him out and about. Just sitting up on an acrylic log there, enjoying some light. Actually, that's not UV light over him right there. He has to get up on the basking platform when he wants that. And there's Fern underneath him there in the acrylic log. She's just relaxing. That's a shallow water platform there, something I strongly believe in. Here we are in the corner, giving Fern a scratch. All my turtles love to be scratched. You see that stick I have there? They scratch themselves in the mopani wood, but once in a while I give them a good scratching with that stick, and they love it. Now Fern is the only turtle that I've ever seen that enjoys having her head scratched. And we'll close out with Fern basking on the platform, on the basking platform. There's a UVA, UVB heat lamp up above. All my turtles bask quite a bit, except for Esther. She only basks on rare occasions. That's a 12-inch by 16-inch tray, 4 inches deep, filled with sand, kept slightly moist for easy digging. The back area there where she's headed is shaded. which is where they will always lay their eggs. She's trying to decide what she's going to do. Heading on back. We'll just close out the video with Fern heading out to get some sleep.